image of the tormented genius goes back as far as the ancient Greeks, who thought that poets communicated with the gods during periods of divine madness. Since then, the belief in a link between creativity and mental disturbance has persisted, although it has always been controversial. Griffin Holmes, a retired consultant psychiatrist, has conducted several analyses into the lives of famous men and women and is here to tell us of his findings.
Over the centuries, hundreds of talented men and women have struggled with mood disorders. The term psychiatrists give to depression and related illnesses. Some also had problems with alcohol and drug abuse, which complicated their psychological problems, in many cases leading them to commit suicide, often at the height of their powers. For instance, the extensive diaries and letters of novelist Virginia Woolf give a frank and harrowing picture of her sufferings with manic depression, a destructive condition marked by alternating periods of wild euphoria and deep despair. During a period of mania, Woolf would talk non-stop, day and night, until she fell into a coma. When in a depression, she was tormented with unpleasant physical symptoms and hallucinations. Eventually, it all became too much to bear, and she committed suicide by drowning. To Woolf, you could add the names of Dickens, Byron, Keats, and Sylvia Plath, to name but a few of the more well-known writers who suffered from severe mental torments. All the above, at some point, may have suffered from a condition called hypomania, the characteristics of which, high energy levels, decreased need for sleep, heightened sensitivity to color, sound, and touch, are especially conducive to creativity. A study of living eminent writers found 38% reported intense productivity during periods of hypomania. The link between creativity and manic behavior is not only to be perceived among writers. Several famous composers, including Tchaikovsky, Mussorgsky, and Rachmaninoff, were also afflicted with manic depression. And it's well known that the artist Van Gogh suffered from mental illness. Nor were great achievers in the world of science immune to mental problems either. The great Isaac Newton himself is believed to have been a manic depressive, while the Austrian physicist Ludwig Boltzmann, responsible for major advances in both physics and chemistry, hanged himself, and the American chemist Wallace Carothers, the inventor of nylon, committed suicide by taking cyanide. There is a final intriguing twist to the tale in the discovery that the link between creativity and madness may run in families. Researchers at Harvard University, conducting an analysis into this phenomenon, found a higher degree of creativity among people with mood disorders, and whose immediate relatives also suffered mental abnormalities, than among families with no history of mental illness. This suggests that the same genes could influence both mood disorders and creativity. Although as yet we know very little of the brain science involved in this relationship, that could change now that scientists have unraveled the human genome, allowing them to isolate the genes responsible for genius and insanity, resolving the issue once and for all.
Now you will hear part 2